We live, Coach Bryant.
Righty.
All right. What's up, everybody? It is Wednesday night, and it is time for Hits and Heels. So, welcome to Hits and Heels. If this is your first time tuning into the show, my name is Coach Terri Bryant. This is my husband, Coach Bryant, and we are the only husband and wife football coaching duo that we know of. He made me a football coach when he decided to step down from coaching high school and decided to coach middle school when our son was starting as a freshman, and we just completed our sixth season. We just had our little banquet 2 days ago, and we fellowshiped with all our parents. We had a great turnout, and it was a good time. It was a good time, Coach Bryant.
Right. I mean, very good turnout.
Matter of fact, let me send this link to the group.
Okay. Well, it was a great time, and I mean, we had a lot of people there, a lot of people, and which was actually pretty good when the season actually ended at the end of October, when it shouldn't have ended when it ended.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a fact. But with that said, is we had a great turnout, great group, very great group coming back. But it was actually a pretty good turnout at Crawford, and finishing our sixth season, like you said, it's been a roller coaster a little bit, and I won't get into it. But, I'm not understanding some things. I mean, we do very well, 46-11. You got to be a math major to say that's a pretty good record. And we've done an excellent job. I think molding the ones that decide to stay with football with Frederick Douglass, Henry Clay, or Wolford County, or Paris,
or wherever they decide to go.
To go, and that's.
And we've had a couple that have signed and played on next level.
Before we go to that, I want to say this. I've said this once before. People have a problem when young people make decisions or the parents make decisions to leave their school. I mean, you do what you think is best for your child.
Absolutely.
Your child gets sick or something happens, your child, then you got to do what you think is best. I mean, I want every kid not to go to the new school. I want them to come back to me, but
But we got a new school opening up, and we're going to lose some.
We're going to lose some players, and it's disappointing. But with that said, is and theirs a little different because I can't recall who they named their sports coaches for the new middle school.
I don't think that I've heard anything.
Okay.
If anybody has heard anything about whether or not they've named the new coaches it just lost my mind on what the new school is even going to be called. Let us know, because we would like to know who those new coaches are going to be.
But what that said is it's going to be competitive. We won't stay on the Crawford thing, but we was excited, and there was no pond of wearing Crawford. I just happened to have that on today. But with that said is, and I know that the basketball team took on the champion of football, Jesse Clark, today. I don't know the outcome of that score. The A and B and C, all three levels played today. Played Jesse Clark at Jesse Clark. Crawford in basketball, led by the head coach Booker. Great guy. They were 2-0, if I'm correct. 2-0, 2 seasons in, and so I hope we get that dub. So if you hear us and the outcome, please let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you guys know the
or by yes. Okay. Right, okay. Now let's keep it in here. Right, what we got?
What we got going on, Coach Bryant?
Okay. I'm looking behind me. I don't see none.
You don't see what? Cowboy stuff?
Hold up.
My Cowboys. Are we getting ready to talk Cowboys? So y'all know that I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan, and so we're always the brunt of everybody's comments. And
is that what they call it? The blunt? I think it's the butt.
The butt of it. The butt of everybody. Yes.
So y'all's head coach is
Schottenheimer.
The son of
Marty Schottenheimer.
The son of it,
Right.
So let me get that away from me. I'll burn my hand.
See how he.
Let me hold on. Let me clean my hand real fast.
Y'all see how he do me?
All right. Okay. Now.
Yeah. Do y'all see how he do me?
My hands are fresh. Hands are fresh. Sorry, I had to get that out there. So, you heard
a legend's son.
Yeah, but he was already on staff, if I'm correct.
Yes, he was like a offensive. I don't know.
I thought he was like the quarterback coach.
No, I thought he was more like a consultant.
You need to look at that.
I thought he was an offensive a consultant. I didn't think he was a quarterback coach.
But he will be the offensive coordinator and the head coach.
So he's just like McCarty did.
Yeah, but McCarty has experience. So,
but he's been a coordinator someplace else before.
But be a head coach in that.
But this is the first time being a head coach, and then Belichick did a great job of saying in the video. I think we talked about this last week, where it is a big jump from being an assistant and then going into being head coach. I think we talked about that too. Mm-hmm. That you were an assistant coach for a long time, and even though it was middle school, it was still a big transition. Going from the head coach, because now you have to make all the decisions on everything. You have to be there for everything, and you have to manage the whole thing. Whereas when you're just a coordinator or you're a position coach, if I'm just a running back coach, all I got to do is just worry about the running back. Hey, Auntie, love you too.
Well, the thing that helped me is I was around when I first started coaching. I was around Mike Mann and Mike Mann of POD groomed me to be a head coach. It just didn't work out in the late early 2000s.
Okay.
But he did. He groomed me, and then Coach Chandler groomed me
to be a baseball coach.
Be a head baseball coach because he allowed both Mike Mann and Coach Steve Chandler and baseball allowed me to do a lot of stuff and had me with them doing stuff, ordering, communication, setting up practice schedules, setting up this and this. And so I don't know. So, I mean, the Cowboys going to do the Cowboys or what? They're going to, I don't know. I'm asking.
I have no idea what they're going to do. I mean, every time when we look good on paper, when we think we have all the pieces, we either get a whole bunch of injuries or we just choke.
Right.
And so you just can't say every year this is our year. And we've been doing that for 30 years. One of the funny, I just showed you a joke that somebody had made earlier, but I think the funniest one that I heard this week was Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels were born, have gone through college, have and both made it to the NFC Championship before since the Cowboys last time they made it in 30 years or however many years, 25 years. Like that's
no, baby, that would be the math. It's been 30 years and then they're born
11 years.
Yeah. Well, I just think that the thing is sort of like we talk about, my 49ers had a tough season. If we stay with football theme for right now, my 49ers had a tough year. They had a lot of injuries, and as well as the Cowboys did too. And but the difference is the 49ers leave no doubt. When they're bad, they're bad.
Mm.
I mean, it's sort of like being at a basketball game. You're sitting at a basketball game, and then I knew that was going to happen. I've been at a basketball game and getting blown out.
Yeah.
The 49ers sort of let you relax, and they know that the game's over. The Cowboys still give you hope. They do. They give you hope. They remind you of the Titans and the Indianapolis Colts, and that's for my cousin.
Tawana. Yeah. Hey, Tawana.
So I had to throw that little comment in.
Well, I love having when our family comes on. My auntie Mary and our cousin Tawana. I appreciate y'all support coming on.
Yeah, I had to give both cousins a call yesterday. We won't go there. I had to take care of some big cuz situations taking place with my little babies. You know, I know they grown women. I know you about to say that, but I had to.
They grown.
That's all right. That's all right.
She said, "I'm a Steelers fan." Okay, hey.
Oh, that's right. I knew that.
Yeah, we knew that you're a Steelers fan. But and listen, with the Steelers, who do you want them to keep? Because they said that they were not going to keep Justin and Russell Wilson. I think they should keep Justin and let Justin be their future because he's still young. I didn't think Russell really played up to his height.
Well, I don't know. He did at first. I thought the worst thing is when he was throwing all those passes. That's not his game anymore, or his true game. And then defensive backs made adjustment with that. You know, I really feel that you with Justin Fields, you know, you got to have some patience with him. And if you want him not to be what he is, then you got to show him because he's that good. He's not an average bear. He's cuz said Justin all the way.
I'm rooting for Justin too. You know, he's like our nephew, so I'm rooting for him too.
Yeah, because she got the inside scoop on it. You know.
Well, I know his mom, and we went to school together, but I don't bug her and call her and ask her about anything. I don't bug them about them.
It ain't the stock market. You can get some inside information for a brother.
Mr. Brown's on. You know, that's my favorite people. He said the Cowboys franchise was fractured when Jerry Jones never sought a viable quarterback to replace Romo and Dak.
Well,
yeah, because I don't know what he was thinking about with getting y'all's old quarterback that they drafted.
Hey, you just gonna knock this over again.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
Now what's going on? Where's that old quarterback?
The one that y'all drafted 2 years ago from North Dakota State.
Yeah,
Trey Lance.
But Trey Lance didn't come. I mean, here's the thing: I think they wanted Trey Lance to be the good backup that comes in that reminds them of Prescott.
Okay.
I didn't think they looked for him to take over because Prescott is still in it. He's still good. Okay. They didn't do that. It's sort of like there's nothing more special like the Philadelphia Eagles when they won the Super Bowl a few years ago. And they had the starting quarterback gets hurt and then the backup takes him to the championship game. You know, was not looking to be their starting quarterback. That's why he moved on. But with that said, you know, I don't know.
Tawana said Russell needs to take a seat. Bless you.
Bless me. Thank you.
He said, I like Russell, but it's time to give Justin a chance. I agree. I mean, and you have to get some type of stability and get back to a constant. I was glad that they re-signed the Coach Tomlin. They re-signed him to a longer term contract, or they re-extended his contract. And I think, and he's the constant. He kind of like us with us and our team. He's been there 18 years, and he's been consistent. And so the only thing that hasn't been consistent has been the quarterback ever since Roethlisberger left.
The quarterback play. I mean,
the quarterback play has been hurting him. Yeah. And not being able.
But remember, they had a quarterback, and God rest his soul, that got hit by a dump truck that signed. He was. I just was talking about him today. He signed to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He played at Ohio State. Help me out. What was his name? The young man ended up passing. He was jogging and dumped.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, he was going to be their quarterback. It's the one. Oh my God! I'm gonna keep talking, guys, because that's why I can remember his name. The gentleman. He took a picture when he was a kid saying, I'm going to play for Ohio State. And then the next thing you know, he played for the Ohio State. How cool is that?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's going to pop in my head. So
Haskins. Yes, Haskins.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. We knew you would. We knew you would be.
And
I forgot about him.
I mean, that was a huge thing.
Yeah, because he was 12 years old, and he had took a picture.
He was younger than that.
Yeah. I thought, 8 or 12. I thought it was 8. Yeah.
So that's pretty good. And you know, as we stay on this theme for a little bit, I mean, the 49ers right now is debating about Purdy. Um, and that's been quite a talk because that's a lot of money, and we will have to lose a lot of players to pay him because that's what it's about.
Right.
That's
right.
what it's about. That's right.
Right. Good stuff. So anyway, so I wanna transition and talk about I'm having this contest where I'm trying to win this $25,000 to where I could bring flag football to the state of Kentucky.
Female.
Yes,
Yeah,
girls flag football to the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to bring on one of my friends that I have gotten real close to because there's not too many, and her son plays for the University of Kentucky as well. But she is a flag football coach. And so I just wanted to bring her on just real quick. Coach Smith.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good. Thank you for coming on.
You're very welcome.
So today I found out that Mississippi became the 14th state to bring on girls flag football. How long have y'all had it there? First of all, give everybody a little bit of your bio.
Well, I've been teaching 23 years. I've been at Westlake about 18 years. Westlake is in Atlanta. I have been coaching flag football for about 5 years. I always played powder puff during homecoming when I was in high school. I actually played women's professional football. It's been a long time. I think my oldest son probably was about 18 months old when women's professional, so-called professional football actually came about. But when the opportunity presented itself, when they started, made it a sanctioned sport in the state of Georgia, I jumped at it. And I actually was the only team in my county to actually play the first year it became a sanctioned sport. The other schools were not ready. And I went to my athletic director. I said, just because they're ready doesn't mean that I'm not ready. So I told my girls, you guys will always have, you'll be able to say that you were Fulton's first.
I love it. So what was that transition like? I mean, like what was the process as far as like transitioning and getting that started up? Did it, like, how many teams started out, and was it hard?
What made it easy? It wasn't hard. They had a pilot. Arthur Blank, who's the owner of the Atlanta Falcons, actually had a pilot in Gwinnett County for 2 years prior to Georgia GHSA making it a sanctioned sport. So what ended up happening, of course, the article went out. Anybody who actually wanted to start a team in the state of Georgia, he actually gave everybody money to start your program. So therefore, nobody had to come out of pocket in order to actually start their program. You got anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 to actually start your program. And even this upcoming season, every single team in the state of Georgia will actually get $5,000 additional to do whatever you need to do as far as your program is actually concerned. So he is the reason why all of the teams in the state of Georgia actually can play. So if you come in and you have never been playing, he's actually going to give you about $10,000 to get your program actually started. So my school did not have to come out of pocket with any money to actually help establish the program. So that's really how it got started.
But that means somebody caught his attention. Because did he seek out flag football, or somebody?
He did.
He seeked it out, which is very
unusual.
I don't want to use the word unusual. Coach Bryant and Coach Smith, I want to say things, and that interest may not have caught his attention. So that's pretty good that he seeked it out. Seeked it out, because
he is he's the brains behind it in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like here in the state of Kentucky, Terri just said we might not get that, but with that said, you don't know what somebody's thinking. They're like, oh, that's good, because a lot of people with a lot of money has girls, and the girls are very competitive. And I never called it powder puff. I always called it flag football, like they do with the boys. Flag football is very entertaining.
It is.
It is very, because we live in an entertaining world. I'm sorry, it's a microwave. Let's pop that popcorn quick.
It's literally his baby, though. Like,
I love that.
literally, the girls were the first team. The boys actually, once he built the new stadium, they no longer were able to actually have their state championships in the new stadium, but the girls flag football actually were able to play in the new stadium. So that kind of went away. It, I guess, wasn't fair. So this year is the first year that both of them actually played in the new stadium, in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But he actually has a wall in the stadium of every flag football team in the state of Georgia.
I like that.
Literally a wall. So
Well,
this has been his baby.
Yeah, and that's pretty good because sight is a big thing. There's a little girl walking around talking about it or thinking about it, and visual aid is there, and that's pretty good.
He's actually
he's
helping other teams as well, because this year he actually supplied every team in the state of Georgia, and if I'm not mistaken, in the state of Wisconsin, every team got 2 sports bras for every one of their girls, because he believes in the young ladies being properly equipped.
Oh, wow.
Well,
yeah.
We need to talk to you, baby. We need to talk to you closer to Wisconsin.
Right.
Kentucky's closer. So,
well, Kentucky's always behind it. Usually we are ahead of Mississippi, but even Mississippi has beaten us to getting she said before we came Kansas flag football. That's my girl Barbara. Or was that Christine? No, it's Christine. She played street football in Philly before she came to Kansas late. I always wanted to play flag women's football. Oh my God, that again, a lot of people have wanted to play that. So okay, so when is the season? When is y'all season? And what other sport are you competing with for athletes?
We straddle 2 seasons, so we're not quite fall, we're not quite winter. Our games actually start in October. The last week in September, first week in October, we actually start our games. We finish our season with the boys at the state championship.
Okay.
Yeah, we end with the boys, but we don't start with the boys. We kind of straddle. So you have, in the state of Georgia, you have volleyball you're competing with, as well as softball. 9 times out of 10, we're not at my school, because we are one of the Geico national champions with basketball. I can't mess with the basketball girls. So if they're elite, I get the head nod. You can't have her. So I just stay away. And then if they get to that point where it's about their senior year and they can't play, they're not gonna be playing. She'll send them to me. She'll send them to me. But for the most part, I'm not allowed to touch the basketball girls. She let a couple JV play this year, but they'll have to make a decision as far as next year is concerned. So I compete not really with basketball, because they know they can't come out. But I compete. I won't even really say compete. When softball's over, I get those girls. Their coaches actually allow them to come to me maybe 1 to 2 days, so I can actually determine if I'm gonna keep you. So I'm pretty honest with you, like, yeah, you can come when it's over with. So for the most part, I really haven't gotten any volleyball girls, because their season kind of goes into November. So I get those that don't play any fall sports for the most part.
Okay. So, okay, cool. So my next question is, how many schools in Georgia have now gotten flag at the college level? Because we've gotten 2 here in Kentucky. And so, of course, if we got 2 college teams, why would we not have any sanctioned high school teams? And what is the recruiting process like for you?
We have Reinhardt University in Georgia, as well as Life University, which actually just started their program last year here in the metro area. And they actually play a couple of neighboring states as far as their games are concerned. But as you know, Alabama State just started the first Division I program. So that's not that far. And as far as the recruiting is concerned, I do know Life University actually has a mega camp that he's gonna invite a lot of the girls to where he's gonna have college coaches across the country to actually come in, because I've had girls actually go play up in Wisconsin a couple years ago. The coaches came down to the Reinhardt camp, and several of my girls actually were recruited from those those particular camps and played flag football.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that I like, because sometimes, your skill set is not, maybe you're not a baller. Volleyball is a skill set, or you might not be fast enough for track, but you could still play flag football and still be an effective athlete. And so I think that's why I love it. It's just another opportunity for girls to go and get a free education. And speaking of free education, how about them Kentucky Wildcats? What was your first season like at the University of Kentucky with your son?
I really, really enjoyed it. I can't complain, to be honest with you. The season, as far as wins and losses, did not, go like I wanted it to go, but he actually grew a lot because, of course, he switched positions from his high school position over to middle linebacker. He plays the wheel linebacker spot, so he had to start from the ground up. So just watching him and everything in which he did, it was, it was something new for me. So everything he's doing, I'm seeing it for the first time, just like everybody else. But when I say I couldn't have asked for a better situation for my son at University of Kentucky.
But Mom, okay, a lot of time people are just coming on. If you don't mind, tell them who your son is and his jersey.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Antoine Smith, and he is number 44.
I do say it, but I'm just saying that I don't think we said who.
I didn't say. Yeah.
No, you didn't. But it's Antoine Smith, and his number is 44.
Yeah.
So why did he switch positions when he got to Kentucky?
He when you look at, he played the jack position in high school, which is you kind of your stand-up DN. And when you go down Kentucky's roster, you see 6'5", 6'6", 250, 260 pounds. He came to University of Kentucky, 6'3", 195 pounds. So, but he knew going into it that he was being recruited as a linebacker.
Oh, he knew that. Okay.
Yeah, he definitely knew that. He knew he wasn't playing the jack position. We knew up front, every offer that he had, it was all at linebacker.
Okay. Right. Because his feet was, when I would watch him in practice before the season started, he had nice feet. So I saw that as a
track guy.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He's green. He has no idea what he's doing yet. So just imagine.
I don't know. I put it this way. When I see him in practice and I go watch, our son, Terri Bryant, I'm a defensive guy and he's got some skill sets. Well,
I'm glad you said that, because just think about it. I'm telling you, he's learning. Everything is new. So that ceiling is up here. So we might be in for something real special.
Oh, it's going to be special.
Yeah,
he and I'm not saying it because you're here.
I appreciate it.
He's got that skill set and the determination to understand the scheme. And I think that's always the hardest part when you switch positions. You go make a tackle, then you realize, I'm not supposed to do that. I got to do this so they can do this, and that's defense. But he's going to be special. He's not your average bear.
I hope so. From your mouth to God's ears.
Amen.
Well, that's good stuff. Well, I just wanted to bring you on here. I told you I wasn't going to hold you long. I just wanted to talk up the girls' flag, because there aren't a lot of females that I know that are coaching. Of course, a lot of the female sports are still being held by mostly men. And so
up here, it's a lot of women in the state of Georgia. When I say a lot of women, they do have men on their staff, because my assistant coach is actually a male. But a lot of your top teams, they're actually women. And there's a school here, Pace Academy. Their head coach actually plays women football, and she's actually one of the top people with the USA football that's getting ready to kind of help with that Olympic team. So it's kind of big in this area, and it's a lot of women that actually play, and they're part of the coaching staffs that are actually around in the metro area.
Okay, good. Well, I know we got two women's teams. I know there are two women's teams out of Atlanta, and so and I'm sure that probably helps out a lot too.
Well, one of the big things is, I don't know if you saw the wife's smile, those pretty teeth. All of it was showing. It was based on when you said a lot of women, because her ultimate dream is if you get the flag football or tackle football, all women officiating, all women coaching, and that's a beautiful thing. She hears me say that it'd be a basketball game, and I said, "Why is it two male officials?"
We have a lot of women officials in the flag game as well,
and that's pretty good. It's not. It's just saying that a lot of ladies have come a long way of understanding the football aspect of it, and that's what I like about it more than that. Is that who I think that is?
Yes. He just called me. Alan, I saw your call. I'm sorry.
And with that said, is I love that. I love that. I love, because it's just it's different and different and competitive. Because I'm telling you, guys that can hear our voices, you want to see some action.
Oh, it's definitely competitive. Because we're thinking about going with the soft helmets this year because it's
gotten so bad. Yeah,
and a lot of
a couple of my girls play actual. It's called there's like contact flag. I didn't realize there was like contact flag and then regular flag. And
you're not supposed to have contact, but sometimes
but there are
because
leagues
it's new to some of the girls, it's unavoidable with trying to be able to stop and get out of the way. So it's we're kind of thinking about going, maybe not this year. We may mandate the soft helmet. So we're in the process now because we have like the entire state of Georgia, along with a lot of the college coaches, are in a group me that we actually have here in the state of Georgia, and we bounce ideas off each other. When you're looking for a match, you're in a group me, but that's one of the big things that we're all talking about is that soft helmet to actually protect these girls.
Okay. I love it.
Well, thank you for coming.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
We'll see you during the season.
No, I'll see you in a couple of
every
weeks.
game. Every game.
No, we're going to get some soul food in a couple of weeks when she comes in town.
I'll be up on the 14th.
We're going to Blue Steel.
Okay. Well, I mean, we don't charge. You can stay here.
I appreciate it.
All right, Coach. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach. You have a great evening.
You be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, I got a surprise for you. I didn't tell you he was coming on.
This is a treat.
Okay, if you're going to keep me up this late, we have to set some rules here. You were talking about contact flags, the two of you. You wouldn't play with that. You knock the crap out of everybody. What are you talking about? You can't play football with flags. Really? There's no. Stop it. You guys are too tough.
We was talking about how flag football for the young ladies and males, it's a lot of contact.
Yes, there is.
That's what we was talking about, contact. It was that.
But I have a couple of my female that play on my tackle football team that have played on a contact flag team. And I just thought that was just unusual. That's why I was asking her because I want to bring girls flag football to the state of Kentucky. So Mississippi just became the 14th state to sanction girls flag football. And, we're always behind the power curve. So that's just something else that I want to just start having the conversations of.
I kind of think if you found a really good sponsor. Like anything else, that would work. Is there a CEO that you guys know who's a female? Not trying to be sexist here, but we all know how the world works.
Yeah.
What was it, years ago? They were playing flag football, and I thought it was going to take because of sexism that the ladies were wearing like bikinis or something. And I'm going, that's so ridiculous. It's going to work, and even that didn't work.
The lingerie league.
Well, yeah, is that what it was?
It's a tackle. That's still going on.
Is it?
Yeah. The first time I got aware of the lingerie league, the wife said, "Look at this football." Okay.
And you're going, where's the football? I don't see it.
I did like that. Honestly, tell I went, okay. Let me twist my arm.
ESPN's got 8,000 networks. You mean they can't put that on? If they would put that on one of the low-ranked ESPNs, they would get ratings.
I felt because it was entertaining. They were hitting each other.
Yeah.
They were making great plays.
It was nice.
It was very entertaining.
Now, that's very well. Here we go. Alan Cutler.
Introduce yourself, Alan. Let everybody.
No, you do
know.
it. I know you introduce me.
So if y'all,
no, not doing it. Not doing it.
Go ahead, introduce him.
Well, I'm going to introduce him. It's very simple, and he's going to have to talk about himself because he usually has it the other way around. Well, Alan, let me clarify something.
You know I'm really shy.
Are you really?
No.
He's from New York.
Behave yourself.
He's from New York.
Well,
he is not shy. He's from New York.
Well, Alan has his own show, and his show has been on 11 years. How many years, Alan?
Well, this show, I came out of retirement. I retired for 4 years, and a few months into my third year. And we've been very lucky. Our podcast numbers have gone up exponentially. The online is going up exponentially. So, and the feedback is really good. I've been very lucky and blessed for people like you all who come on the show. And, you know, Walker Buehler on the mound when the Dodgers won the World Series, kid from Henry Clay. He did the show the other day. Bill Curry, who never does these things. He was great last week. So I've been very, very, very fortunate with the people who have said yes to come on the show. I've been very, very lucky.
Oh, I've been the same way with my show. Like you saying yes to come on my show.
I can't say no to you guys. Come on. You know better than that.
Well, what when you was here and you left, if I'm correct, you went to Ohio, right?
No, I went to KDK in Pittsburgh.
Okay. And what did you do up there?
Same thing. But I was promised certain things and it didn't work out. And then the people in Lexington were dumb enough to ask me to come back, and I came back. And then they couldn't get rid of me.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Well, I just want to, I just definitely want to say thank you, because you've had all three of us. You've had me on by myself, and you've had Cisco and Ty on. Yep. And we appreciate it. We thank you for highlighting us on your show. And we're very fortunate that we was able to come on.
So my question to you.
This is reversal, isn't it? You've always wanted to see. I don't interview people anymore. I don't grill people. I have a conversation. I'm looking at the two of you and I'm saying they really want to grill me. So you know what? Go ahead, grill me. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Again,
ask anything you want. I promise not to answer.
No. Yes. No, you answer. You answer. And that's what I love about you. I mean that. So what this said is, my biggest thing is, what is your favorite sport? Because you go all over the map. I mean, what is your sport that you wake up and said, I want to watch this? What is yours?
Baseball.
Baseball.
And, you know, and there's a yes and no to that. So what I've been lucky, because it's a feel thing. You can't fake it or buy it. So when baseball's over, I'm a little sad, especially when the Yankees suck, which has been basically the last 25 years. But when baseball's over, I'm a little sad, but I really get into football. And then I look forward to basketball. So I like all of them, the main ones, tremendously. And then what surprised me, I mean, I wasn't into horse racing when I got here, but if you're going to live here, you better dive into it. And so there were times I would go to the track early, even 1,000 years ago when I was anchoring, just to be around those guys to learn it. And I really love the sport because of the people and the characters around it. Some of the best stories I've ever done are the horse racing people. So I like people. And so I like Damon Running-esque characters. And you all know this. There's been too much plastic from coaches. And a lot of the kids, not their fault, have been told to be plastic with the media. And part of it, I don't blame the kids, because there's too much crap that's going on in the media. I don't like anybody going after anybody. I don't like anybody who makes up stuff for click. I can't stand that stuff. But on the same token, too, a lot of these schools are really chicken, and they hurt themselves by not figuring out who you can trust and who you can't. For example, Cisco trusts me. Okay. Yes. And I'm Terry, I barely know you, so I'm talking about Cisco because we go way back and you get it. So the truth is, if I was a young punk now in the business, and Cisco, you were also 40 years younger, and you were playing football for UK, fast forward then all those years after that, we wouldn't have this relationship, because they refuse to allow us to talk to you. So I got to know you as a person, and I don't give a blank what anybody says. 99% of the athletes today, and a lot of it is not to their benefit, believe it or not. And the schools haven't figured that out, because the little things you could say to advice to a player, or you can quickly say, calm down or hang in there or something. When it's somebody they like on TV, it actually helps them a lot. But these schools are, and it's not just Kentucky, by the way. I'm not picking on Kentucky. You take all of them. They're so uptight about what's going on that it hampers the growth of an athlete. For example, Cisco, let's say you had a bad game. I know that never happened. And you're averaging 20 points a game, and all of a sudden you miss 3 shots at the end, and it didn't go good. Something else happened. It was controversial. And the UK will do its best not to have that player come out because they want to protect him. And I've explained this to the UK for years. The next time that kid is available, that story will become alive again. So the best thing for the player is to get the damn thing over with. Yeah. Can I give you my favorite story that's an example?
Yes.
Please.
Rex Chapman's last game, it was in Cincinnati against Villanova. And we've all seen this. I'm not ripping anybody, but they quit. They were done. They with all the nonsense going on with Eddie Sutton, and I was right behind the bench, and Villanova beat them. Villanova had all this. They had no spark. They had no energy, no nothing. Go inside the locker room, and Rex is crying. And I get it. Rex was very emotional. Lots of kids I have seen cried in the locker room after an NCAA game. It stunts for them. Sometimes some of these fans say, well, these kids don't care. They're one and done. BS. I've been in the locker room with some of these one and dones. They care. And the fans don't get it. Many of them, neither here nor there. So we're on a tight deadline. Part of this was selfish, honestly. Part of it was to help the kid. And Rex remembers this. And there's a whole bunch of us. Obviously, forget about the other stuff. You got to talk to Rex. If I blow off everybody else because I'm waiting for Rex, I got to have a soundbite for Rex. That's my job for the late news. He's standing there, and I walk up to him, and Rex trusts me, and I whisper in his ear, Rex, 2 things here. Give me 30 seconds. Here's the deal. You are better off talking now, getting it over it, and I promise you, and that's the gang. This is not just Alan Cutler getting a scoop. Tons of people back then. I promise you, after 3 or 4 questions, I will cut it off and I will say you're done, because after 3 or 4 questions, people want to ask the same thing over and over and over. It was so obvious what's going on. He looked at me and said, okay, let's do it. And instead of being selfish, just sticking the mic in, I turned to everybody and said, let's go. And I said, we're only getting a few questions. And what it was is everybody got to eat. And after, I don't remember, the 3rd question or 4th question, it didn't go 5. He said, we're done. And a couple of people looked, I said, we're done. And the people in Lexington respected that. There were some national people going, you're like, what are you doing? I kind of looked at him like, I can't say that word, like, whatever. and when I walked away, I looked at Rex, and Rex nodded at me. And he was done. And he turned inside the locker room, and he was left alone after that. And as bad as it was for Rex, it helped him. Selfishly for me, I got the soundbite on 11 o'clock. Rob Bromley got the soundbite at 11 o'clock. Rob actually thanked me. He goes, thanks. We didn't know what we were going to do. I had to have the soundbite. The Herald Leader had to have a quote. They got like 4 quotes, whatever, and Tipton was able to write a story. But I got what I want. So long-winded story is that the schools do not understand the media. And here's the other thing. This will sound terrible. Everybody shouldn't get credentialed. You have people who said, hey, I just put up a website. I'm a media person. You don't know what the hell you're doing. There's no training. You don't know how to ask a question. There's no background. There were people I've seen, now everybody's basically upstairs, who was sitting on the front row, and I'm upstairs because they put the TV upstairs. I'm going, this person doesn't have 100 people reading their stuff. And Bromley and I are upstairs. It's wrong. It's wrong. And there were people sitting downstairs. They don't even they don't know what they're doing. They're not even smart enough to bring us in and say, okay, let's have a little panel before the season. What do you need? Okay. And let them tell us what they need. And hear our side and hear their side. And maybe you could say, maybe not everybody in the media is not a bad guy or gal. And maybe to try to understand what they're going through with the pressure as coaches, stuff like that. But it's awful now. I mean, I wish I was 30 again, but the fact is, the way the media is now, and the way it's just awful, and you really can't do feature stories, and you're not helping these kids because you could do stories on these kids as background, as people, and then people could get to know them better. Does that sound selfish? Yes, but you know what? It also helps the kids out when you can do feature on them, and people say, "Wow, this kid did that."
Yeah.
You got me on a roll. You know, has been, I don't know if it's my favorite question of all time, but it's always been one of my favorite. I used it for my entire career. You know what my favorite question was?
What's that?
No, I want you to guess, because I'll give you 1,000 to 1 you don't get it.
Your favorite question to ask
You ask a player.
a player.
A player, college player. And yeah, I'd like to say this was a plan when I got into the business. Of course it wasn't. I'm not that smart. I'm going to give you a hint. I don't remember who it was. Either you were playing Cisco or even before you, because this goes way back. It was somebody over 300 pounds, whoever the heck it was. And every time I asked the question, every time I got a great answer. People perceive, you're 300 pounds. Great, you're this big, tough. They're just kids. The question is, you ready?
Please.
Yes.
Are you a mama's boy?
And
wow.
but here's the thing about
I'm telling you, hang on, Cisco. Every year I got 2 or 3 great football stories that way. And a couple times, Monisha said, you wouldn't think a 320 pounder is a mama's boy. He's a kid.
Yeah.
Well, my thing is, I say that
Great
also,
question.
I say that all the time. I say it all the time that people forget that these are babies. It's just like, you remember I was on your show and I kept saying babies, you know, and because people see what they do out on the field and they're hitting, they're big, they walk by, you know, and they got that persona about that. But they are babies. They are babies. But what was the question?
You know, the first time you said that, I really didn't know Terry then, but I was thinking about asking you for Terry's number and say, he wants to have more kids, I think, the way he's talking about babies. Now I know you well enough, Terry, I could do that.
well, I mean, because it's true. They are. Because I'm fortunate. I get to see these same young men when they're not got the UK stuff on. I get to see them watching a TV show and cracking jokes on each other, and it's so enlightening. So I love that. I do. I love that a lot.
Can I interrupt for a second on purpose?
Please.
JT Caskins just said AC hello.
Yes.
JT was always one of my favorite players. JT, I want you on my show. I can't believe we haven't caught up. It's amazing what happened. Pound for pound, inch for inch, one of the toughest one of the toughest, smartest, hardworking kids. Let me tell you, we've all seen, this is not a reflection on Kentucky. We've all seen kids at 320 who had no Valentine. If JT Haskins had more size, oh my gosh, I'd love to be his agent. Yeah. Oh my, he was tough and smart.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this story. I'm coaching at Dunbar at that time. He is the quarterback for Bryant Station. And you know, he tried to get me fired because he could do it all. I mean, the option, he ran it too precise. He was hard running. The next year, Shelton returned, and they was playing dumb. We was playing Bryant
Station. You're talking about Shelton, the steadily running back, number 2 round draft choice for the Carolina Panthers, right? I don't remember.
But here's what I'm saying is, I said this. I said, Bryant Station was ranked a little higher than us at Dunbar. I said, they can't beat us because Haskins graduated. I said, I don't care how good he is, they're not going to beat us because JT left. And Dunbar, we ended up beating them. And it's because of like you're talking about, his hard nose, his ability. And we praised him last week.
We're excited about him being a new head job at
he was at work, and I kept texting him saying, you know,
we're excited.
We're excited for him. And
I'm embarrassed to tell you this. I don't know what's his current job.
He's a new head coach at Bryant Station High School.
He's the head coach now?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
JT, if you're listening, JT, if you want me to come talk to your kids, I will do it. I don't want a dime. I do want a T-shirt. If I show up to a high school, I want a T-shirt. I don't think that's asking too much, right?
So would you like me to send him your number?
Absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely. You know what? He made a mistake. Now, after I'm going to tell you something about JT. He's not going to want me to come to his school. See, he just dropped off.
I'll put it back on there.
He made a mistake, and I'll tell you what it is. He had a wonderful career. Okay, Louisville. He had a wonderful career, right? He made a mistake. And JT, if you would have talked to me, I would have told you he should have gone to a school. Georgetown threw the ball. He should have gone to a school at a lower level that ran the ball. Back then, Tubby Raymond, oh my gosh, I haven't thought of him in 30 years. Was that Delaware? Nemesis of Roy Kidd? Boy, am I pulling this out of my you-know-what. He would have been an All-American quarterback on the 1AA. His sense of timing on the pitch was freaking perfect. You can't, Cisco, you know this. Terry, you know this. You can't teach what he had.
You can't teach
He had a sixth sense and a timing that was perfect. And you look at him, well, he's a little kid, really. He's tougher than you know what.
Yeah.
He should have played quarterback at a smaller level. He would have had more fun. He never, and if he was a little bigger, he might have been able to play in Canada. He just wasn't. That's what he could have been at the right school, a 3 or 4 year starter quarterback, and would have had more fun. Sorry, JT, you never asked me. I wonder you think he's cursing me out now?
No, he's not cursing you out. He's laughing. I guarantee he's laughing. Hey,
you know what? And I bet he agrees with me.
Hey, did you see Derek Robinson's message?
I just see it now. Oh, man. Yes. Derek, how are you, man? What's going on?
Look at that.
I was young back then. 82, 80. And you know what? Thanks for putting up the years. I would have guessed the 80s easily. But 82 to 85.
That was when Cisco was. That was when you were in UK at that same time.
You didn't room with him, did you, Cisco?
No.
Who'd you room with?
I room with Eddie Simmons and Al Carter and Eric and Higgs.
Mark Higgs.
You were room with Higgy?
Yeah, I room.
Hey, would you help me hook up Higgy for the show?
Yes, I will call him
because I think he would do it. We got along great.
He'll do it. He'll do it. No, he's always here in town as well.
That's what I hear.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! You want to hear a story?
Tell me about this interview with Tom Paine.
Oh my gosh, Alvin Brown! I can't believe I don't know who you are. I can't believe you remember this.
Tell me about it, and then I'll let you go.
No.
I'm now juiced, so I'll stay if you want, and I'll go if you want. I thought I wouldn't stay awake, but the Colonel.
Well, you told me not to keep you long, so I'm gonna let you go as long as you want to.
But here's what you can get rid of me. I'm happy, but I'm happy to stay.
But I got
I'm serious.
I want to hear this Tom Paine story first.
Okay, so I did a ton of work on this story, and Tom Paine was in jail, convicted for rape. I made phone calls. I did all kinds of stuff. And the crazy part is when you looked into it, people say, oh, bad household, this and that. Stop it. He had a mother and father. Background of the family was military. There was discipline. There was nothing that would indicate that what happened to Tom would have happened to Tom. So he's in jail. And I have this crazy idea that I want to go to jail to talk to him. His brother, I can't remember his first name, was a doctor. I mean, it's amazing all the people in his family that are, are well educated. Daryl Payne, excuse me. Sorry, Daryl, if you're listening, which he's not. He's probably in Florida, but you can listen down there. I never did this one time for a story in all the years I did this. I would never meet people. People say, I want to come to the station and talk to you. Nope, we're doing it on the phone. Because 15 minutes turns into 30. I got a show to do. I got a story to do. Nope. We'll qualify on the phone. I know how to do this. If you don't want to talk to me on the phone for 10 or 15 minutes, I'm done. Won't do the story. And it ticked some people off, but most everybody agreed. Because somebody wants to come to the TV station and spend an hour. Oh, give me a tour. No. I'm on deadline. I got to get my stuff done. He drove down from Northern Kentucky. We met at a restaurant. We talked for hours about why I should be given permission to talk to him. I said, look, I'm going to ask any question I want. If you don't like it, we're going to end this right now. You either trust me or you don't want to do your homework and that kind of stuff. Well, he finally said, okay. And was he in the Grange? The jail did the craziest thing. We go up there for the interview, and when we walk in, he's shooting baskets and not missing. And then we go into a tiny room. I mean, it is no security, but the room, even if it was you guys, I would be uncomfortable. It was that tight. Literally.
Right.
My photographer, Brian Gilbert, God bless him, was right behind me. The sticks barely fit in the room. I was almost leaning against the wall. Tom Payne's in there. If I said something that he didn't like, I'm done. I wasn't worried about it, but was in my mind because you hear stories and that kind of stuff. Nobody should be put in a room like this. It was like, what are you thinking? And I said, I'm going to ask him whatever. So we did a 2-part series of Tom Payne in jail. And I never talked to my boss about stories. If I had to get on an airplane, you got to get permission. I get it. But the stories I did every day, they left me alone. I did my own thing. This, I walked into the office and said, look, I want to do this, but I'm telling you, and he said, great idea, but I'm telling you, we're going to get a lot of hate mail. So I don't want any garbage about this. He said, you just do your thing and I'll take care of the hate stuff. And oh boy, we got hate stuff. We got a lot of hate mail, phone calls. How dare I? I was called all kinds of names and that kind of stuff. The offshoot of the story, Jim Andrews saw the story. You know Jim, very religious, lovely man. Finally, they put him in the UK Hall of Fame. Man, averaged over 20 points and 10 rebounds 2 years, and took him 1,000 years. And I'm not saying anything to do with it, but when I started my show, I went crazy for quite a long time saying, why is he not in the Hall? By coincidence, he just got in right after that. He's very religious. They took a group and they started visiting. Do you guys know this? Started visiting Tom Payne because of my story.
Oh, wow.
And Tom said he totally misunderstood Jim Andrews. Yeah, you guys know Jim. He's like a gentle giant, wonderful man. And all Jim was doing was the normal competition in practice to bust your tail because, Rupp and then Joe B, you had to go like crazy. Tom took it personally and took it the wrong way. Jim was fighting for a job. Joe B. Hall wanted to have the Twin Towers with the two of them, and Adolph Rupp initially didn't want it because Adolph would decide who the starting 5 was in spring and would never deviate. So I was told. And Joe B., he had Turpin and Bowie as the Twin Towers, and he had Roby and Phillips, the Twin Towers. He wanted Payne and Andrews to be the Twin Towers, and it had Rupp Gunford. They might have won another national championship. Seriously, it was a brilliant idea, and they both could shoot. They both could do whatever. And if they bonded, which if Payne gave Jim a chance, they probably would have. And so that really helped Tom Payne. But he opened up in jail, and I haven't heard a comment about that story, and that's a long time ago. And then later on, shortly before I retired, Nancy Cox came to me and said, I want to go talk to Tom Payne. Do you mind? Well, you don't need my permission, but she said, you're the one that did the story that nobody else would do. And that was respect. And I said, Nancy, tell me what you need from me. You go do it. Do a good job. And she, of course, Nancy did a wonderful job. But I'm sorry. I got a chill pill when Alvin Brown, whoever you are, that's crazy.
No, I said you just.
Mr. Brown always comes up with good questions.
You just sent me back some memory. You said Nancy. I ain't talked to her and seen her in a while.
Well, she's married again. And
yes, I know that.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 years. So.
Yeah, I met her husband. I'm going blank. He's a farrier. Really good dude. And the last time I saw them, they had just gotten engaged. A whole bunch of us from 18 got together, and she was giddy and he was giddy, and they were lovely together. They look like a great couple, and everybody wishes her nothing but the best. She's really a lovely gal, and she deserves to be happy, like we all do. Forget the TV nonsense. She deserves to be happy.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this Saturday. I don't want people booing Cal. So what is the consensus of how people are going to react when Cal steps on?
There's no consensus. Nobody has any idea what people are going to do.
What people are going to do? Yeah.
First of all, I don't care what anybody does. I don't boo or cheer. But
I
if
don't
I
either.
did, why would I boo Cal? First
Right.
of
Why?
all, first of all, he did the forward to my book, right? Second of all, we go back to Pittsburgh. Third of all, what he said he didn't live by. I understand at the end he couldn't stand me because I was critical of him before anybody else on my radio show. I don't care what Matt Jones says. I like to poke at Matt Jones. He just wasn't. Not the point. I thought he lost his way. But the man's a Hall of Famer. He deserves to be in the Hall of
Yes,
Fame.
absolutely.
People forget that when he got here, it's the greatest recruiting class in the
Ever.
history of basketball. And I said at the time, I said there was no time, and he got Wall and Cousins and all these guys. It was unbelievable. And had Billy Gillespie stayed, Cisco, they would have called you to come out of retirement to go play basketball because there wasn't going to be nobody on the team. What
Yeah.
he did to turn this around was unbelievable. Gets all the
Yes.
credit, but his last 4 or 5 years sucked. And I never attacked him. Why would I attack him personally? But I
Right.
was hard on him because I knew he lost the team and I knew he lost his way. So the forward in my book, Cut to the Chase, which is, it's amazing how many were. This has been a couple of years. How many we sold on Amazon this? Because it's an honest thing about my entire career. No holds barred. I ripped myself, whatever. I no filtered myself, whatever. So in the forward, Cal said that I understood a word that's important, and you guys get this, called friction.
Yes.
If you're doing your job in the media, and I'm not trying to be saying being a jerk, not going after anybody, you're going to ask questions at times that a coach won't like. Okay, coaches are smart. They get tones of voices. You ask it in a bad tone of voice, whether it's Cal or Izzo or these guys and gals, they're smart. They get it. And so Cal was a bit of a hypocrite. This I will say, I never talked to him directly because I did the show and I didn't go to press conferences and stuff. That he was like, how could Alan do this? Is what came back to me. I never got it from him, but I got it from people around him, which is fine. Maybe that's wrong to say that. And nothing I ever said was personal. Why would I be personal towards Sean Calipari? I mean, why?
I
You
think
know,
that's the biggest misconception with the media is that people just take stuff personal. I've had to take myself out of a couple of groups because I think somebody made a comment on Twitter about I don't understand why Stoops recruited why Stoops recruited Ty Bryant. And I was like, what?
are you kidding?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it's and I meant to screenshot that so that I can repost that later on.
Send it to me. If you get one like that, send it to me. I'll read it on the air.
Okay.
I'm sorry. The
so
kid's
people,
probably going to play in the NFL, a straight A student. I said this when he was in the studio. He's going to be captain, maybe next year, if not the year after. One of the world's greatest kids. I'm saying it not because you're here. You know how I feel about him. And people are people are wonderful and people are idiots. Everybody's got an opinion, but I'm strong with this. You can be a dumb blank with your opinion.
Yeah,
I agree.
Right, because the one I have like three-part question real fast, and I know you're ready to go. I hope you're not, but
I'm good.
Okay, your all-time.
The Colonel helped.
Okay, there you go. Your all-time favorite football player in the NFL all time, your all-time favorite Major League Baseball player of all time, and your
Mickey
favorite,
Mantle. That's easy.
I knew that
Mickey,
because I've heard you say that. Okay, so your favorite NBA of all time, favorite football, who is that? I mean, people want to know that.
well, I'm not shucking you. This sounds terrible. No. I'm going to be honest. I never think along those lines.
Are you from Jersey or New York?
Would you wash his mouth out with soap? He said Jersey.
Hey,
If I knew you were going to suggest I was from Jersey, I would have said, I'll do the show with
he's
you,
from
Terry.
Jersey.
I'll do it with you, but I ain't doing it with Cisco.
I didn't say he was from
You asked how many decades have we been friends? It's over.
No. When I asked you the question and you started doing this, I mean, that's a Jersey thing. That's not a York thing. That's not a New York.
You're going to tell me about New York? You're going to tell me about New York?
That's what I'm saying.
Hey,
so
you know what? You guys need some good New York pizza. That'll with the oil that's different. That'll loosen you up.
So who's your favorite NFL team? I mean, NFL player of all time.
I'm not chucking anything. I don't know if I have one.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think along those lines.
Well, it's got to be someone you enjoyed watching.
NBA?
Yes.
Probably Clyde.
Clyde Drexler.
No. Oh my gosh. No. Oh, I'm done. Hang up.
I'm joking.
New York.
I know.
Frazier.
Clyde Frazier.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. He's like 77. Have you ever seen his outfits?
How old is he?
Oh, he should be.
He's past 75.
Yeah.
Looks great, in unbelievable shape. Wears the wildest outfits of all time. Yes. They won the championship. You know the game when Willis Reed limped on the court?
Right.
Go look at his, he had like 36, 15 and something, whatever the heck it was. The most clutch player ever in New York Knicks history. New York, he was.
Jacket.
Now, ask me the greatest NBA player.
Who's the greatest?
Of all time.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell. I can see that.
Excuse me? Cisco?
I can see that.
Cisco? How many national championships did he win being undefeated in college?
Okay.
How many national championships did he win in college being undefeated? Undefeated. Two. Then he gets traded from St. Louis, who had the rights, to Boston. You want to know why? There was a quota about African Americans. It was a long time before 5 African Americans, do you know this, started in the NBA? And then there was a quota as to how many could come off the bench and how many could be on the team.
I remember that.
Bill Russell was traded for 2 Hall of Famers. And Red Auerbach did the deal so fast. Cliff Hagan and Clyde Lovellette, LSU and Kentucky. And so a lot of people thought that Red Auerbach, the greatest NBA executive / coach of all time, not Phil Jackson, the greatest NBA coach / general manager of all time in basketball, people thought he got fleeced. Russell won, not just Russell, they had a great team, 11 NBA championships in 13 years. Then became the player coach. After somebody turned down the offer to be the player coach. You know who that was?
Who?
Frank Ramsey, Kentucky.
Oh, Ramsey was.
Ramsey didn't want to be coach. He wanted to go home in Madisonville and run a bank and be a farmer and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as he said no, he went right to Bill. How many African Americans were coaching the NBA at that time?
0.
Red Auerbach didn't care about race.
No.
Red Holtzman in New York didn't care about race. There was serious quotas. Do your homework. I knew this as a child. Serious quotas about the NBA. By the way, Bill Russell, for a season, there was a time there's 48 minutes in an NBA game, right? He averaged over 48 minutes. Because when you include the overtimes, he didn't come off the court. Go look at all the games he had over 20 rebounds. He was so smart. There was a guy named Neil Johnson or Johnson. I think it was Johnson. A slow plodding white guy with a soft touch from Philadelphia. Don't ask me how I know these things. And so Bill Russell was so smart, he would allow, I'm using that word on purpose, allow, and this was a great scorer, by the way. This wasn't a schlocky player. He was a very good player. And if I got his name wrong, I apologize. I can picture his face. He would allow him to score in the first quarter on shots that he could block. Now, if it's a tight game in the fourth quarter, what is this center going to do? Hey, I just beat Russell on that shot. I'll take that again. And Russell would swat it away. If they kept records back then for blocked shots, he was a studly athlete. A track star, 6'11", body fat at 0. Could have scored a lot more, but didn't need to because he had Heinsohn and Kuzi and Sharman and Casey Jones. Well, Casey Jones wasn't a scorer. Casey Jones had a terrible shot. He was the greatest defensive guard maybe in the history of the NBA. I'll give you a name. There was a guy named Sam Jones who came from North Carolina A&T. You can look it up. Had the sweetest bank shot you have ever seen. That man was sweet. And so what Russell did, he saved his energy for defense, and when they needed him, he would score. If they needed him, he could have scored 25 a game.
Wow.
Bill Russell, Winner. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest.
Okay, but I'm not. Okay, I guess my head should know, only because in my mind, good history, going down history lane, I like that. But, like my dad, when I asked him who he said the best player was Oscar Robertson. He said Oscar Robertson, not based on the championships, but just his overall ability to play the game. And then, and he had Bill Russell in there. He had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Jordan, but he did not have LeBron in his top five. He did not.
Okay, Oscar would probably be 5. He averaged a triple-double for his career.
Yes, yeah, out of Cincinnati.
And when later years he got heavy, but if you saw what he looked like when we went into the league, are you talking about ripped? And his philosophy was simple: if a 15-foot shot is good, a 12-foot shot is even better.
Yeah.
You ready for this? Can I give you homework?
Yes.
Cincinnati Royals. Write these names down. Jack Twyman in the Hall of Fame. Adrian Odie Smith, Kentucky. The Big O.
Big O.
Bob Boozer was a power forward. Oh my gosh, I'm going blank on the center.
How many years did Boozer play with them?
For a while.
Oh, was he? Oh.
Yeah.
I thought he came at the end.
Who was the center? It wasn't Wayne Embry. Maybe it was. Oh, I can't remember the center. And they were unbelievable. They couldn't beat the Celtics. If there wasn't for the Celtics, the Cincinnati Royals would have won many NBA championships.
Yeah.
Adrian Odie Smith from a small junior college in Mississippi. Didn't have a pot to blank in. Comes to Kentucky, was a great player.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't talked to him in years. But when he was almost 80, he would still come to games and get there early. And God bless him, he would respect the floor and would shoot free throws before the game, and he wouldn't miss. And he told me he could still hit 90 in a row sometimes.
Wow.
He was MVP of an all-star game and the last guy picked for the all-star game, and he was from Kentucky. Challenge me. Look it up.
Okay, look at.
I have all this worthless information in my head,
but that's good.
Okay, but the thing is,
I've learned so much stuff since you've been on here today.
The thing is, I told the wife, I said, and I did not know you was coming on. I'm happy you came on. I really mean that. And first of all, let me go back to the beginning.
Hold on. Alvin's got a better question.
Yes.
Alvin Brown. Okay, Alvin said, could Bill Russell block the skyhook off Kareem's fingertips? Maybe. Probably not. But Alvin, do you know what he would have done? He would not allow, and I mean allow, Kareem to get to the spot that he wanted to. And so if Kareem wanted to be, let's say, 7-8 feet out, all of a sudden, mysteriously, Kareem was still scoring him, but I mean, he would be 12-14 feet out. That's a great question. And by the way, Bill Russell could jump out of the gym.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he could jump out of the gym. And Alvin is right. Oscar was great, but he needed Lou Alcindor back then, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to win the NBA championship with the Bucks. Alvin, you're smart. That's absolutely right. And they brought in Junior Bridgman, who was clutch. Absolutely right. Whoever Alvin Brown is, he knows.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah,
he always brings great questions on my show. Yes, always. Always.
Let me say this real quickly. When you talked about the beginning of your show, how well it's doing, you didn't tell the whole, Paul Harvey, you didn't tell the rest of the story. The reason why your show is so good because Jimmy's on your show and he's a 49er. I
I didn't see that coming.
Let it come out, man.
Hey,
I mean,
I will tell. In fairness, I will tell Jimmy tomorrow. Now, here's the rest of the story.
Because
So
he's in
Jimmy
bed.
loves.
He's like 3.
Okay, Jimmy loves the 49ers.
Loves him.
And Terry, your husband, loves the 49ers. So
Yes,
they
he does.
immediately bonded like crazy. By the way, Jimmy's great. I'm lucky to have him. He needs to do his own show. He helps me out.
Very
Yeah,
knowledgeable.
and he.
I didn't realize how knowledgeable he was until he was on. What's the gentleman that comes on at 2? The one that comes on right after you.
Brad Taylor. You're talking about our gambling expert.
Yeah. Brad and Jimmy comes on his show sometimes, and he is just kicking information like on top of it. I was like, wow.
His knowledge of the NFL is absolutely spectacular because he plays in those leagues and stuff like that.
I mean, he knows if a person has a hangnail.
Right. Jimmy would actually be better in a larger market in an NFL city because he knows the NFL, and I'm just going to say this, he knows the NFL much better than Kentucky. So this is not an NFL city, but I think Jimmy could go, let's say, to a Cincinnati,
and
do a show and be very, very successful, more so than here because that's his knowledge and expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just want to let the people know that it's Robin that's doing this thing. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. You got anything? You want to grill me more?
No, we're good. I had you on here for 45 minutes already.
Well, my biggest thing is it's just I love that I sit in my office and if I have the time and I click on and your conversations with your guests are top notch. You're top notch. My quick statement I want to say, going back to Cal, is my only problem that me personally that I have with Cal is that I thought that he put him in front of the name Kentucky, and that's how I took it, and because it doesn't matter. I love UK and understand that UK basketball was winning before he got here. We had All-Americans before he got here. We had guys going to the NBA. And my biggest problem was when he put it, and he did fantastic for Kentucky. I'm not saying he didn't, but when you start reading your press in front of the University of Kentucky, that's where I had a problem.
He was always like that, one. 2, I will tell you, by the way, Alvin Brown, if I'm allowed to, I want to answer his question after this, if it's okay.
No, go ahead and answer his question first. That's fine.
No, let me finish with you. Part of what Cal did was totally misunderstood, and I've said it forever. So it sounded stupid when he said it, but I instantly understood, and I said it on TV, and a lot of the old folks, Dan Issel didn't like it. I love Tom Hammond. He didn't like it, and I get why they didn't like it. When he said, when they had 5 kids drafted in the first round, that was the greatest day for Kentucky basketball.
I disagree.
You don't know what he was doing. Do you know what he was doing? He was recruiting.
Yes.
Okay, that's all it was. Because what is he telling? He don't care about you, and he didn't care about me, and I'm not being negative. He cares about the 16, 17, and 18-year-old kids because that's his job. And so he used any means available to him. And I won't rip him for this. I get it. And I can't believe, and as many times as I've explained it, how many people don't get it. I'm being serious. He was telling the 16-year-old, this is the greatest day. You come with me, and you're a great player.
And you can get recruited too. And you can get drafted too.
Yeah. It was, he would go into homes and with a book. Do you know about this?
Yes,
with a book. It's showing how much money these guys are making. You're a 16-year-old kid, and you see that, and that's impressionable. He's recruiting. That's all it was. It was shtick. And I got to tell you, had he won more national championships, which he should have, by the way, He should have, but that
He should
you
have.
get me.
Yes,
Okay, had he won more national champions, nobody would give a crap about that.
at all.
But because
Okay,
because
but
he
that's my
didn't,
point.
because he didn't. People criticize that, but he did that to get more players. Because one of the first things I learned in Lexington, you know what it is?
What's that?
You can't win the Derby with a donkey.
Okay, but hold up. Okay, hold that thought. But it's the same thing that Nick Saban goes into the house at Alabama to get top ranked football players, but they win national titles with those top ranked. Okay, I get it. That makes sense. You're recruiting. Okay, if you recruit stallions, you expect stallion results. That's all I'm saying. I coach. If I got me some stallions, I'm going to win. I'm not going to fall short because I got stallions.
So what John Calipari was doing was everything he could to get as many stallions as possible. Now, here's the point I'm going to disagree with you. Nick Saban did Nick Saban, okay?
I'm just talking about him getting stallions.
Hang on.
Okay.
Nick Saban did Nick Saban. John Calipari didn't John Calipari. That was his style. And you didn't like it. And you have a right not to like it, but that was his thing. Recruiting. Because he needed stallions, and he believed he's the one making money. He believed that was his best way of getting stallions.
I'm not taking
so
away.
You're telling that man he should. You're telling that man. No. You're telling that man he should do it the way Saban did. That's baloney. That's like me telling you this guy coaches this way, and he's won more games than you. Sorry, you should do it that way.
I feel like Sean Woods right now. So I'm not.
Wait a second. Stop it. You've already raised. You say his name, my blood pressure goes up. Why would you? Why would you bring his name up?
Okay, hold on. Okay, first of all, let me clarify something. I'm not doing a comparison of what I was comparing. Both of those top coaches, Hall of Famers. I respect both of them. But the end results, when you get stallions, people expect you. If you, like this year, nobody expected, based on what we've had at the University of Kentucky basketball, that we would be where we're at right now with the names on the back of the jersey that's playing for Kentucky now. Nobody expect that. Nobody. I don't care. But what that said is, if we were 500 or below, that's the talent that we thought we had based on the talent that we used to have. When you bring in that type of talent, okay, if you bring in that type of talent like Ohio State in football, real quickly, people were very upset with their coach based on the talent they brought in, and they lost 2 games because of the talent they brought in. If you bring in okay talent, you can handle if you're just okay or above okay. If you bring in top-ranked talent in 2025, how can you shake your head? No, you expect.
Do you know anything about Rutgers?
Rutgers?
Yeah. Did I stutter? Do you know anything about Rutgers?
No, you didn't stutter. That just came from nowhere.
Do you know anything about Rutgers? Simple question: yes or no?
No.
Okay. I love your honesty. There's a guy named Harper, great defensive player, won all those rings with Michael Jordan.
Oh, Ron Harper.
Hang on. No, his son now is graduating. His younger brother is there. They might have the first pick in the draft. They got 2 kids that are going to go up so high, it's unbelievable. They can't win games. Go look at it. By the way, Pico, the coach, is a great coach.
Right.
Kentucky played Stony Brook. That's how he got the Rutgers job. He's a great coach on that level. He can't win. Go look at the record. Because he's been so good, he's not going to get his fanny fired. They got 2 kids going to be drafted unbelievably high in the NBA. They can't win games with a wonderful coach. Hang on. It's not just about getting Italians. And so what Pope has done, he's blended these guys together. It's remarkable.
Yes.
Rutgers has never had talent like this. Never. And I'm not sure, but it might be the worst record he's had in 4 or 5 years, and people are chomping on his case, and both those guys are leaving and that kind of stuff. He's had grinders. He's a hell of a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Got 2 great stallions. I mean, great stallions. These kids are going to make more money. These kids are making more money than all of us combined are ever going to make. There's more to it than that, and you know that. So Cal was being Cal. Saban was being Saban. Cal's not as good a coach as Saban. Who the hell is? Who is? How could you compare the two?
No, it wasn't comparison. It was based on.
You said Saban went in and did blank. Cal went in and did blank. You're comparing. No, come on, Cisco. No.
Listen.
Ask your wife who's right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to be right. My opinion is very simple. Is when you talk about Rutgers bringing in 2, we brought in 7. There's a big difference having 2 studs and 7 studs.
And how the hell are you going to keep 7 studs happy? There's one basketball. There's only so many minutes.
The same way Dawn Staley has 10 All-Americans on her team.
Because you want to know something? She's a better coach than John Calipari.
And she's a better coach than John Calipari.
Yeah. There's no question about that.
Calipari. I mean, who am I to bash him? I'm saying.
Not bashing Cal. I'm just saying. No. I'm saying Dawn Staley is a better coach than John Calipari.
And my biggest thing is.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said a female is better than a man. Oh, that's so sacrilegious. You know how I am. It is what it is.
It is. I mean, I wouldn't even say that. It's who's the best, male, female. It's not a gender thing.
I don't care.
So
Why is your wife smiling at me, and you're going to get a tongue lashing when we're done?
No, she don't. That's not her style.
Not your style?
That's not her style. Nah.
I'm teasing.
Yeah. Now, my thing is I want to clarify. I wasn't comparing Nick to Cal. That's not what I was doing.
That's what you went bump. So I went bump.
No, what I said is
Terry, am I wrong? Am I?
No,
hold on. I'm going to shut up.
I want to go against the family.
Oh.
Hey,
no. I've been set up to fail.
No,
you guys are great. I hope people know how much I respect and like you guys. Somebody's going to take this the wrong way. You guys know.
Hey, you know what would have happened, right? I would have hung up. I said, babe, you know I love you, but don't ever take the side against the family. No. My only thing is I'm not. It may sound like a comparison, but that is not. I'm saying.
Okay, but you said blank and bank. I had no choice but to do it.
Let me finish this thought. When you bring in this and you make a point and you recruiting and you're saying the best thing ever happened to Kentucky, that's going to catch my attention. Because if you're saying that that's the best thing ever happened to Kentucky, I'm going to turn and look at you at my age. Wait a second. I've seen a lot of good things happen for Kentucky. Having 5 guys get drafted.
But he's not recruiting you. He's recruiting a 16-year-old. Why can't you get that?
I got it.
He wants the edge with a 16-year-old. What's the matter with you? You're too smart to say that.
I'm smart to say it and understand what I mean, and maybe I'm not saying it right.
No, I understand what you're saying. Cisco, I love you, dude. I understand what you're saying.
I'm just saying.
Can I say this with loving kindness?
What?
You're wrong.
I don't. Hey, hold on. We were a band. I don't mind being wrong. It don't bother me. we were a band. Being wrong, it doesn't bother me. I'm good with that.
I know it is. Oh, I know it is.
Yeah, I'm good.
Should I go to Alvin's question?
Yeah, yes. And then I got a couple people have commented after that. But
okay. Oh my gosh, it's been an hour. And when I said I couldn't stay awake, now you got me wide. I'm wide awake. It's your fault.
That's right.
If we get together, the first beer's on you guys. So I owe you guys to do my shit. No, I owe you guys. So that's
we got you. You know I love you. You my man.
No, we got you.
Okay. So let me go to Alvin Brown.
Okay.
This is serious stuff. Do you know the story? The Phoenix Hotel?
Oh, was that the one where he was not allowed to go in there?
Right. So I wasn't here, but I know the story. And I've actually talked to people way back when about it. And I did some reading about it. So Alvin Brown says, who is this dude? This guy really knows his stuff.
Yes, he does. He's amazing.
Did he play for anybody?
Mr. Brown, did you play for anybody? I know he
Do I need to have him on my show?
You need to have him on your show. Yes.
Seriously.
You need to have him on your show.
That he has.
Yes, I had him on my show and we was on for 2 hours. He's so knowledgeable of local sports. It's unbelievable.
He knows local beyond.
Yes.
And he's got so much information. He should write a book.
He should write a book.
He should write a book. He really should.
Cutler, you remember when Bill Russell came to Lexington to the Phoenix Hotel? I know the story. I'm really old. Thank you, Alvin, for making me feel like I'm 93 years old, but that was before my time. And they left town because they would not allow African Americans in the Phoenix Hotel. And Red Auerbach never flinched, said, we're getting the hell out of here. That was one of the reasons why Bill loved Red. Bill loved Red because Bill was really smart, and Bill knew that Red wasn't doing the things he did because he was his best player, because he knew Red's heart. He knew Red's heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, they spent too much time together. Bill Russell was too smart. It was just, you're not going to fool Bill Russell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not at all. Do you know he had people break into his house and in Boston and literally take a dump in his bed more than once? People have no idea that, and I don't mean to put it this way, the crap that he took.
Yeah,
and he was the best player in the history of the franchise.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's the stuff that he put up with back then is unconscionable in today's society, or any society, that any man should have to do that. And he kept his cool. And then people say, well, he's guarded. Yeah. Do you think you'd be guarded if somebody broke into your house? Happened more than once.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that?
No,
I didn't know that.
I think the book is called Golf for Glory. I was a
Golf for
kid. It
Glory?
was a paperback. It was about 500 pages, and I gobbled it up. Look for
Glory?
Bill Russell's book when he still was playing.
Okay.
It was the bestseller. It was absolutely spectacular.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, well, go ahead.
I'm gonna address a couple more things. He said Coach K mimicked Coach Cal and recruited similar players.
Yeah, he did. Okay, everybody copies. That's true.
I forgot which point that he made, that Cisco made a point. And then this
about the one and dones.
Yeah. This young lady said that Nick Saban is the reason that every Alabama wants to be on the team of Alabama.
Well, there's a yes and no to that. Okay, so yes, but they wanted to be on the team when Bear Bryant was there. So it's, Nick took it to a level, but that level was there before. And
but Nick had to get it back.
Yes, he did.
He had to get it back because it left.
We finally agree.
We always agree. Hey, you put me with that person. I ain't gonna say his name. That you said we finally agreed. That is something that one guy that's from Indiana.
Oh, Dan Dockich? He's an idiot.
Sean Woods. I try not to say his name.
Sean Woods. Hang on. Let me think. Sean Woods. The name rings a bell.
I'm telling you.
You so
One
funny.
of my favorite quotes of all time comes from Bear Bryant.
Okay.
You guys will love this. Every year, we have 2 or 3 superstars. This is the exact quote. I remember this from when I was a child. Every year, we have 2 or 3 superstars. The rest of them aren't, but we don't tell them.
That makes sense.
In other words, fly around like crazy. I remember as a child watching Alabama, and they played 4 tailbacks in the first half. And it was fascinating. And, guys were much thinner back then. Before steroids and stuff and whatever, weightlifting was totally different and stuff like that. So the first tailback was about 205. The next tailback was about 190. The next tailback was about 175. And they had this little pipsqueak of a kid that was about 150, 155. He was a walk-on. He played late in the first half. I couldn't think of his name in a million years. And I'm watching the game. I'm a child. And you couldn't run this kid up the middle. He'd have been killed. And so They did a couple sweeps with him. He got a couple of first downs. I'm not kidding you. I remember this like it was yesterday. And this kid is jumping up and down like crazy. It's like the greatest thing to ever happen to him. And the sideline is going crazy because they didn't tell him he wasn't a superstar. So he thought that he was. Therefore, the effort was spectacular.
Yes, that's good.
I like that.
I like that. I mean that's anything, not just sports.
But when we're coaching,
I mean,
we instill that in some of the players, and they play for us, or they play harder.
I think
when we put that expectation on them.
My coaching thing, the best one was there's a gentleman that actually was a role with a judge, Judge Tackett, here in Fayette County, and I coached him at Dunbar in the 90s, and he made that statement that you made me play up to my ability, not up to someone else's ability. And when you get kids to do that doesn't have all of that's very good. I mean, so I mean, that's a good saying. I like that.
Isn't the truth with all the BS with coaching, we don't really know what anybody's ability is.
You have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
stuff.
we really don't.
I have no idea.
How many coaches say, well, I didn't know this kid was that good? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Until you put them in a position for them to be able to perform and be that good.
Yeah. I've had former players, no names, football and basketball players, who have said, oh my gosh, I would have loved to have played for Mark Pope. I can't tell you how many it's happened. I don't mean 1 or 2 or 5 or 10. Yeah. The beauty of the show I'm doing, you know, look, the truth is, Terry, I would have never gotten to know you seriously if I wasn't doing the show, right? And Cisco, you and I rekindled our relationship because of my show. Yeah. Well, I've rekindled dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and more dozens of relationships because of the show. It's been a joy for me. Oh, absolutely. The conversations are a joy. So you're getting to know people as they are in a different form. And ability is we put labels on kids, which is disgusting. It's disgusting. Just try the best you can. Don't worry about crap and keep on going. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Try the best you can. No stress. Just make it a game. If you miss the kick, try the next kick.
Yeah, because my favorite thing as a coach is what? No emotion.
No emotion.
No negative emotion. Just keep playing. Just keep playing. Just keep playing. And
I'm going to give you one. I'm going to give you one more nugget. One of my favorites. You're getting like my favorites. This is like the headline. I'm done after this. I got nothing else to tell society. I didn't used to watch Johnny Carson. For some strange reason, I had it turned on that night. As people know, Carson, I'm sure a lot of people in your audience don't even know what Carson is, and that's fine. Carson and George Burns were great friends. They used to drink together at the Friars Club. George Burns was 95 or 96 and still performing and still had the big cigar. And so Carson, it's one of the great lessons in broadcasting and in my life was from this comedian. Just one of those moments of, oh my gosh, I've just learned so much. I couldn't understand this. Carson asked Burns, do you still get nervous? Burns took a hit of the cigar and he said, the day I don't get nervous is the day I quit. So I'll bet you guys will now use this in coaching. What is nervous? Nervous is energy, but it's negative energy. And so my thing has been for years, now I'm 72, but my thing for years was like when I'm 35, I would say, because of this, I hope when I'm 70 that I have something that allows me to still use my energy that keeps me alive, that I want. That's what the show has done. It's been I'm so blessed, it's unbelievable. It's been a blessing to me. So nervous is just energy. Now, if you think about it, you control your energy. And so if I hit that, I embrace it. So I did the Bengals radio network for 14 years. And Yid, Dave Armbruster, everybody calls him Yid, is the guy who runs it. And he's been the sports director up there with all this and that. And I don't know how he does everything he does. I still don't. And so he would have this thing for 14 years because the booth would often be loud and jovial and that kind of stuff. We're ready to go. And he'd go, cut man, stand by. And when he would do that, it was 10 seconds ago and everybody stopped. Out of respect to him, we were about to go on the air. And so at that moment, for 14 years, I felt a rush.
Mm.
But it wasn't negative.
Right.
It was energy. And I'm sure there were times I didn't, but I would say thank you for that energy. And as soon as they said good afternoon, whatever the heck I said, I was rolling. But I could feel the rush. And in some games more than others. You know, it's just like you're playing Louisville, you're playing Oshkosh. It's energy. It's just energy. It's all it is. Is it positive or negative? So Burns said, when I don't get nervous, I'm done. He knew how to control energy. You get your kids who you coach, the kids that you're trying to help develop their lives, the kids that you care about, the kids that you're pushing to go on the right path instead of the wrong path. You get them to understand energy and control it. They have been so blessed to have known you.
Outstanding. That's good stuff. Thank you.
I'm done.
No,
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, man. I mean that you've got a lot, and I mean that you got a. There's only a few people that I can honestly say that's got a lot to give, and just to let you know, I did send JT Haskin your number. I sent you a text to let you know that. Okay, and he probably will communicate with you. And that was a great hire for Bryan Station.
Yes, we're excited about that hire.
The high school coach Hawkins went to Henry Clay. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, the Bryan Station.
Yeah, and I'm not ashamed to say this. I would be on the phone in the old days trying to find these things out. I do not. It's interesting that I started all this high school stuff, yet it's not like I'm divorced from it, but it's just not part of me. Does that make sense? And it's not like I purposely let it go. It's just because I don't know the people involved and stuff like that. Interesting.
Yeah. So he went there and JT got the job, and so it's actually pretty.
Explain something to me. Why would the Bryan Station coach go to Henry Clay? They pay him more money?
Well, I have no idea.
We have no idea. We want that.
Why would Paris coach go to Bourbon County? Coach Rice, the head coach of Paris High School, is now at Bourbon County High School.
I had no idea.
Yeah, he left and went there, and I was like, wow. I mean,
did he have to sell his house and move?
I don't know what it is. I just think I don't know. I just think now it's just a little different in life, and
maybe just less pressure, or maybe he was tired of not being able to beat Frederick Douglass. I mean, I have no idea.
She's talking about the Hawkins.
I'm talking about
Hawkins.
I
thought from a very superficial look, it looked like he improved Bryan Station a lot.
And he did.
He did. But I mean, just think about this. Someone said this to me today, and I asked them a question, and they asked me. We followed this up, and I said, if he wins 5 games at Henry Clay,
he's successful.
He's successful. I mean, and let's be real about it. I mean, Henry Clay has struggled. When I first started coaching, Henry Clay is the best program by far for years.
It's kind of sad what's happened to Henry Clay.
Yeah, I mean, every year, I'm watching film and I'm going, well, this kid's graduating, and then we play him the next year at Dunbar, and I go, God, where did this kid come from? Every year they just reloaded, and great kids and great program, and then it just happened.
I think it'll be different this year because they're changing the some of the districting, and most of Hayes kids are now be going to Frederick Douglass.
Henry
Clay. Henry Clay. So they should get a better, better feeder.
So how much recruiting is going on? Because recruiting's gone on forever.
Well, it is, and it ain't recruiting. Recruiting is recruiting this person.
I don't think it's that. I just think that parents put their kids in the school that's the hottest commodity at the present moment. So they move.
And what's wrong with that?
In the district, and I don't think that there's nothing. And to me, they're calling that recruiting, but that's not recruiting. That's parents putting their kids in what they feel like is the best position for them.
Yeah, early.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? I do know this. So I'm not going to mention the name. I know in basketball there was a certain guy that recruited for high school. I know it. Trust me, I know it.
Okay.
Don't think it. I know it. And this person wasn't the only one. So that goes on. And how many times, outside elections where a father might have been offered a much better job in another county.
Yeah, that's happened a lot.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not ripping that. If a family can improve their stock and it works for their son or daughter, I'm not going to rip that. Right. Yeah, why not? I mean, well, they're recruiting. The father got a better job. Okay, let's say if you get a better job, you're not going to take it.
You're not going to take the job.
Yeah, that's just it.
It's silly. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I went so long. You wound me up. You wound me up.
Hey, tell the wife I said hi. Don't go.
I will do it.
But please.
Can I say thank you to Alvin Brown?
Yes.
He just said, Alan, you've made storage in your life for UK sports, and your contribution is greatly appreciated. Alvin,
it is.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey guys, thank you for your friendship through the years.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. And then Terry, you're not going to tell me, but you are going to tell Cisco you agree with me more than him, right? That doesn't mess with the family.
That's with the family. Love it. Publicly, it does. If I do it publicly, it messes with the family. I'm going against the family.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I'm out. So don't go against the family for me. Hey, bless you both.
Thank you so much.
You guys do it the right way, and we need more people doing it the right way. And my respect for both of you is off the charts.
Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Have a good night, y'all.
Love you, babe.
Back at you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Alan Cutler.
Alan Cutler.
Amazing. He's amazing.
Absolutely amazing.
He's got so much knowledge and information.
Oh my God. He dropped so many nuggets today. But I got a notebook of notes.
Yes. But
over here.
That's the thing that he doesn't understand. And I think sometimes he backs up off of it.
Yeah.
But people are like this.
Like
I mean, because he took me down memory lane, like the players he's talking about, Terry, and I'm young, and I just remember Dad talking about him.
Yeah.
And then I'm interested in sports, so you get to know him.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised when he didn't have a favorite football player.
Yeah.
I mean, because he's so into sports, all sports, women's sports, men's sports, this and that, and he's interviewed so many people, and I was kind of surprised at. But I knew Mickey was going to be,
Mickey Mouse,
he straight up. See, I thought he was going to mess up our friendship when I said Jersey.
Oh,
because he was giving me a Jersey answer. Not answer the question, because New York, they're gonna come correct. I've been there a while. So, but having him on, thank you for having that good friend of mine, Alan Cutler, on, and got a good connection. JT was listening, and
I sent JT the link, but JT, if you still on, hop on.
No, well,
it's late. I know it's late. It's late. It's late. We good.
And the objective is we will communicate with JT and get him on, and he's got a lot of stuff going on right now, and so. He will be able to answer questions after question, if that makes sense, because he's got to get his staff. He's got to, he's going to do some things that I assume that Coach did, but he's going to do his own thing. He's going to put his own stamp on there, and it does help that he does have someone that sleeps under his roof, a stallion in his own house. So
that helps.
That helps a lot.
That helps.
That helps a lot. And his other one's already gone off to college. So
That helps.
And
then he's got a supportive wife that bleeds the same thing. That
Well,
there's so many coaches wives.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that doesn't get talked about enough. Just how much
it makes a big difference.
How much that support for coaches.
But they expect the other coach's wife to allow so their son can blossom. If that makes sense. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Some coaches' wives don't want that husband to give and be accessible to other people's kids.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But they expect that other coach's husband to be accessible
to their child.
Their child.
Yeah, and they become very selfish.
And that's where a lot of people are. So, but anyway, this is the first time I stayed on to the end, and because I couldn't just leave my man Cutler because he
that was good stuff.
Yeah, but I was trying, and I said this, and I'm gonna say this, and I don't need to keep bringing it up, but the comparison of Cal and Nick is not what I was doing. I was comparing when you get studs, people expect more out of your team.
Yeah,
they expect more out of your team,
and that was my thing with Cal. When even now when people try to compare him with Stoops, they was like, well, look what happened. We got rid of Cal. That's why we should get rid. No, there's no comparison. Coach Stoops has never had a number 1 recruiting class. He's never had a top 10 recruiting class. I believe. I don't even think he's had a top 10 recruiting class. And then now you expect him to beat everybody in the SEC when he doesn't even have a top 10 recruiting class. That's unrealistic expectations.
Well, and sweetheart, the thing is, and for me, the unrealistic is like I said, is if Alabama's got one of the top 1, 2, 3 top 10 recruiting classes, and Alabama's got the top 5, Georgia's got top 5, and they don't get to a championship game and have a chance to win, people are lose mad. Their mind.
Yes,
because you've got the top. Cal brings in all these studs. That's all I'm saying. That I expect them to win more, not just send them off to the pros. Because I'm sorry, help me, those babies in the Booker wouldn't go into the pros.
He was
if
going
he didn't
to
come
the
to Kentucky.
If they were not coming to Kentucky, they were still going pro.
They were going pro. They just happened to go to it.
They had to go 1 year because of the rule.
Good job. And that's what I meant. I meant, Saban can't go get the top 3, 2 running backs, the receiver, tight end, 3 linemen,
and then not win.
Because and that's what I was saying. The Cutler wasn't that the big thing with Ohio State in the beginning?
Yeah, y'all had the best team that money could buy,
and you lost, and people was losing
were losing their mind, and they wanted him fired. Yeah, especially when they lost to Michigan, who wasn't even supposed to be that good.
If a small college, somebody's about to pass away and they're a billionaire and they give $90 million to that university, that small college, I mean, if you think about it, Moorhead gets it. They could be ranked number 1 based off
on how much they can pay players to come.
And the players get there, and all these top horses are at Moorhead.
They're going to win.
And then if they don't win, people are like, wait a second.
We didn't pay for these.
We got all these horses, and we ain't winning.
That's a problem.
That's all I'm saying.
So, Mr. Brown, Coach K fell with studs too. I don't know why. Coach K was there 42 years, and he only had 2 championships, 3 championships.
42 years.
Yes. Like how long was Coach K at Duke?
I'm about to ask.
I think he was there
Coach K
40 something years, and he only has a couple
42 seasons.
I told you 42 seasons. And how many championships does he have in 42 seasons?
Give me a second. How many championships does Coach K have with Duke?
5.
That's 5. Yeah, but he's always competitive. Hit that. Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, well,
42 and 4. Yeah, on this one it said 5, but yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of years. So one championship in every 4 years,
but
every
again,
10 years.
Okay. Before I go leave, back, but here's the thing: is he was always competitive. You're not going to win championships after championship after championship. Just be competitive. The thing that Carl was, and we was not competitive. We're losing to Greenup County. Nothing wrong with Greenup County, but we're not expecting to lose to them. We got top ring horses.
Go take your dog out.
I love my dog.
I know.
My dog.
But you're right, Mr. Brown. If they would have went to EKU as one and done players, they still would have went pro. If they would have went to EKU, it didn't matter where they would have went. He just got lucky that they wanted to come to Kentucky. But I think they came to Kentucky because of the history of Kentucky and being able to and being able to wear the Kentucky because of the rich history. I mean, it's still one of aren't we still number one of all time, or did somebody else take that? It
might be Kansas.
I thought Kansas had lost. Kansas had surpassed Kentucky, but then they had to take away some of their games, I think, and then that put Kentucky right back on top. But anyway, so hey, great show. I appreciate everybody coming on. Priscilla, thank you for coming on. I don't think there's not too many of y'all still on. Nikki, shout out. Thank you, baby. I saw Stacy come on. Mr. Robinson, JT, my girl not Barbara, Christine Butler, cousin Tawana, my auntie Mary, and anybody else that's on that, you're not showing yourself, but sometimes you guys can just tell me where you're calling from or where you're logging in from, and I'll always give you a shout out if you show yourself on the chat. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go because I got to get up and go to the plantation in the morning, and I got to get up early to get to this plantation in the morning. But I appreciate y'all coming on. We had a good time. Thank y'all. And Alan Cutler's show is on It's on Fridays, babe. Y'all got to catch his show. Anyway, it's the Alan Cutler show. He's on Facebook, so make sure you guys catch him. He's good people. All right, Mr. Brown, love you, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.